Hi, welcome to SBR Sports Picks. His name is Jimmy the Bag. My name is Peter Loshak. This is the Loshak the Bag Show, the 6 o'clock edition, Monday, December 4th. Jimmy the Bag and I, of course, killing it in college basketball. Positive in NBA, not doing well in NHL, overall doing okay in everything else. So last week we came off of a small positive week, both of us, but again, it was all because of college basketball. I had a nice week in NBA last week, but we both had down weeks in NHL, and I'm feeling like we're going to have probably one way or the other another positive week this week. I don't know how it's going to come, Jim, but I'm happy that we were both positive each of the past 2 weeks, Jim.
Yeah, I see that NCAA basketball has been helping those numbers very much, but I don't feel. I mean, you're still up a bunch of units in hockey,
five and a half, something like that.
And I'm just down a couple. I think we can get that back. And then NBA, I'm down point.
No, you're down one single unit.
One unit. And I feel like things shouldn't get more difficult. Yeah. We should start understanding these teams more.
Listen, I mean, and I'm actually significantly up in NBA, and last year in MLB, if you remember, I started the season similar to how we're doing. I started the season white hot in MLB. Then I had a terrible extended run where I went down a ton of units, and then starting right around the All-Star break, I was on fire till the end of the year. Wound up positive units on the year and way up in the second half of the season. So it's a marathon, not a sprint, and hopefully we can. No, it's a marathon, not a sprint. If you use proper money management. If you don't use proper money management, it's a sprint where you fall on your ass after 2 steps, right?
Definitely.
Absolutely. Okay, so let's get into it, Jimmy the Bag. Of course, the way we're going to do this, we're going to start off with our initial picks in college basketball. Then we'll go through everything else, and then we'll recap college basketball right before we recap the whole show. And at the end of this show, is going to come the Marketology segment with Drew Martin and Matt Holt from CG Technology. So it's not going to come in the middle of the show. We're trying out where to put it. We're trying to figure out where is the best place to put it in these shows. It's a great segment, though. Anytime a bookmaker is willing to speak to us and give us the words right out of his mouth, I am happy to hear whatever he has to say in any format, any case. So Mondays and Fridays, we're going to be doing Marketology with Drew Martin and Matt Holt in these shows. And last time we tried it out in the middle of the show. This time we're going to try it out at the end of the show. Maybe next Friday we're going to try it out in the beginning of the show. But we'll find a good place to put it and actually give your feedback if there's a particular place where you like it. Let us know. It's certainly not set in stone, but we're definitely going to be throwing that in here every Monday and Friday. Today it's going to come after the show. So we wrap it up. All right, let's get into it. Jimmy the Bag, we're going to start with college basketball. Obviously, there's a 6:30 game, Michigan and Ohio State, a small slate of games. Once again, a bunch of picks that I made, a bunch of bets that I made, and I'm liking them all approximately the same amount, so I don't know. Maybe I'll just give them all. If I had to pick one or two, I don't even know which ones I would pick to start. What are you thinking about on today's card that you're liking, Jim?
Well, let's break down that 6:30 game just so everybody has it.
And I will tell you right now, that's one that I did not bet on. That's a total pass for me. It has second half circled all over it for me.
I feel you. I'm taking Michigan on the money line. Ohio State looked very bad in their last home game, losing by 14 in a game they led by 7 at the half. The wake-up call helped as they went into Wisconsin and destroyed them by 25. They are not as good as they looked in destroying Wisconsin. They shot 66%, handed the Badgers their worst ever loss at the Kohl Center, which opened up in 1998. And then after losing at UNC by 15, Michigan came back to beat Indiana at home by 11. Michigan is tough defensively, but they're having a tough time rebounding. 6'11 junior German Moritz Wagner is the only guy capable of banging down low. North Carolina took advantage of that. Indiana didn't. Ohio State can't. It's just that simple. They can't.
Yes, they can.
They can't. Ohio State's best.
If they believe that they can, they can.
That is absolutely not.
Okay.
Under any circumstances, this is too talented of basketball teams for you just to will yourself to rebounds. Ohio State's best rebounder is 6'7 junior Keita Bates-Diop. Their second best rebounder is 6'4 senior Jayshawn Tate. These are small guys that aren't going to be able to do the job on the glass. 6'9", 270-pound freshman Caleb Wesson has got to play big boy minutes, and he seems to not have the confidence to do it. He is the tallest player on the team at 6'9". They won't be able to take advantage of the boards, and I like Michigan here.
Well, I think they can, but I'm not going to make a pick on this one at all. It's got second half written all over it for me. I'm going to wait on it. And you want the Michigan money line plus 116, Jim. That's the best line at Pinnacle right now.
Thank you.
All right. Other college basketball games. Let's see. What did I bet? I don't even remember. I bet I took a small shot with Sacramento State plus the points against St. Mary's. St. Mary's coming off a big win against Cal, and I thought that was worth a play. Sacramento State plus the points there. The Florida State-Florida game is very interesting. I guess my first thought on that one is maybe I take Florida State plus the points, but I did make a bet on the over on that one, even though it's a very high total. Both of these teams, of course, love to run. Also, in the UTSA-Oklahoma game, I took a shot also with these over games don't necessarily always go over, but or these obvious over games on paper definitely don't necessarily always go over, especially when there's like a rivalry between Florida State or Florida. But I did take a shot with the over on that one. Took a shot with the over on UTSA and Oklahoma. The Missouri State game, everyone was talking about how they love Missouri State here to get revenge. I agree with that one. I also took a shot on the over with that one, although that's another game that both these teams have been very low scoring recently, so that could go under. But I did take a shot with the over. Took a small shot with the under in the Quinnipiac-Columbia game, and a small shot with the over in Appalachian State, Western Carolina. I don't know whether I want to give any of these as official picks. I will give a few. What else do you like here, Jim?
Well, let's talk about some of the games that you mentioned that I do have picks on.
Yes.
So for starters, Missouri State, I like them. I'm taking them here. The Bears are on a 5-game winning streak and are being led. Oh, also, before I go further, Big Man on Campus had a great point. Says Wagner, the big German I was talking about, how he can't, even though, I mean, he's going to be able to handle the boards nicely, he can't defend Bates Diop. And that, Keita Bates Diop is a really good basketball player. But with the 4-inch reach advantage, there's going to be boards available, and I think he's going to get them.
Okay.
But you're absolutely good point, Big Man. So first off, let's go with Missouri State. As I said, Bears are on a 5-game winning streak, being led by 6'9" senior Elise Johnson, who's averaging 13.7 points, 10.3 rebounds. In Saturday's 20-point win at home over South Dakota State, he went off for 20 points and 14 boards, projected to be a second-round pick in the upcoming NBA draft. They have 7 players averaging over 20 minutes a game, and then they have 6'5" forward Reggie Scurry, who comes in and provides instant offense, 10 points in 15 minutes a game. North Dakota is a small but resilient group. They turn the ball over too much. Their leading rebounders are guards. That's not going to help. Missouri State has favorable matchups all the way through the lineup, and I'm taking them to cover full game.
All right, it's a 2.5 everywhere, but BetDSI does have -2, so we'll give you that one. -2, minus 110. Some interesting comments here. Big Man on Campus likes the Quinnipiac under. I'm glad to hear that. Columbia has actually been pretty high scoring recently, so is Quinnipiac, but in this game, I think it's more likely to be a little bit more modest scoring. Triple Beam says, when Florida gets rolling, it's scary. Laying 10 in a rivalry is tough, though. Yes, it is. It is very tough. Big Man on Campus says, "Yeah, they're my only play today." Who's there? Oh, is it Missouri State? Is that who he's talking about? Stephen Mraz says Missouri State is a real good play. Mark my words. Let's see. Hako Schofield says, greatest show on earth. Pete on the bag. Thank you so much, Hako Schofield. Triple Beams 3 says, Loshak in the bag are legends walking amongst mere children. I consider myself to be a millennial walking amongst mere children. I am in my mind, I am a millennial. In my biology, I'm a grandpa. But in my mind, I am a millennial. Thank you so much, Triple Beams. Gerald Martinez says, love the breakdowns, Jimmy. Okay. Vincent K. Maxwell says, what's up, boys? I like San Jose Sharks to end their road trip with a bang. All right, we'll talk about that in a bit. We're talking about college basketball here. Let's get to some other picks. What else do you want to give, Jim? I got to decide on which of these picks I want to actually give because I bet all of them modestly, and there's not one that I'm liking any more than the others. But what do you like here, Jim?
Well, we've got lots of time still.
Yeah.
I'm taking Penn State over Wisconsin. Wow. Tony Carr and Lamar Stevens are Penn State's two-headed monster. 6'9", 254-pound sophomore Mike Watkins cleans up the glass. Wisconsin is better than the 83-58 drubbing they were handed at home by Ohio State. It's just that Ethan Happ is easily the best big on the court, but he doesn't get help. And if you can get him into foul trouble, you will beat them. The Badgers are having a tough time working in 4 new starters, and I think Tony Carr and Lamar Stevens carry enough weight to handle the spread. I'm taking Penn State full game.
Okay, best line is -5, -105 at the Greek. So it's all -5s, although Heritage has 5.5, so they appear to have a lean towards the towards Penn State there. Yeah, I mean, Wisconsin, you know, they're a young team. You don't think they're going to come off of their bad performance and maybe be a little bit better here, or you think they just can't hang with Penn State?
I think they're going to get better every game.
Yeah.
And I think maybe it's good that they get to go on the road. But I just think that Carr and Stevens will instill everything they want to do. That if they want to speed up the pace, slow down the pace, if they want to bring out and turn it into a perimeter game, if they want to open up lanes to drive, I just feel like they're a great spot. And Big Man here says Mike Watkins is a top 5 rim protector in the country. You add that to these 2 guards, and you've got a winning basketball team.
Okay, I was thinking about a shot with the over on that one. Actually, it has gotten bet down, which I certainly understand. I'll think about that for a second. All right, let me go down. Michigan, Ohio State, that's a pass. Appalachian State, Western Carolina. I did take a shot with the over, and if I'm going to give a pick on this one, I will give it on the first half, which I guess would be just 72. All right, let me just think about that for a second.
Well, I can talk more about that Appalachian
State
go ahead.
Game. Talk about it.
Helps.
Well, first, let me just add on the Quinnipiac, Columbia under 149 or 149.5. So I'll take 149.5 minus 110 at Intertops. Sponsor of the show, friend of the show, currently offering the best line on the under in Quinnipiac, Columbia, along with 5 dimes, whose lines we don't use. I'm going to throw that one on there. All right, talk about the Appalachian State game,
Well,
Jim.
why don't I stay with the Quinnipiac Columbia game, because I've got a shot on that one as well. Okay. Let me talk about it first and then let you know where I'm headed. Columbia's home opener. Lions had a tough time on their season opening 7-game road trip, winning just once. They've been in almost all of their games. Columbia has looked good in the first half and then continually falters down the stretch. Mike Smith leads the team with 17.7 points per game. 6'8 German junior Lucas Meisner leads the team on the boards, averaging 8 a game. They have 6'10 Patrick Tape, 6'10 Jared Faulds that can come in and help on the glass. Obviously, losing Kyle Castlin was a big loss. Now, Quinnipiac is small, and if they can get leading scorer senior Chase Daniels in foul trouble, if Columbia can get Chase Daniels in foul trouble, things will get very easier very quickly. At 6'9", 220, he's the biggest guy the Bobcats have. Cameron Young is a 6'6 senior who leads the team with 6 boards a game, but he's 190 pounds. I'm going to take Columbia on the first half line. Their home opener, have everything going, and then as we've seen, they keep faltering in the second half. I won't even need to worry about that and just have them on the first half line.
You know the weights of these 19-year-old motherfuckers, Jim. That's amazing. I'm going to take the under 149.5. I don't know the weights of any of these motherfuckers. I just know what my numbers indicate. You're going to take, let's see, the first half. Let's find it. Quinnipiac on the first half. Let me find that line. It is minus 6.5 or 6. Bookmaker has 6, so we'll give you that one minus 6, minus 110. Columbia first half minus 6. Minus 110. All right, now let's go back to the Appalachian State Western Carolina game. My numbers said take the over and the first half over. What's your take on this one, Jim?
Well, the Catamounts are tiny.
Yeah.
Their leading rebounder is 6'7", 205-pounder Mark Goslin. I saw hookers and Hako who could box this guy out. Their leading scorer is 6'1" freshman Matt Halverson at 11.4 points per game. This guy is not doing anything else. 0.9 boards, 1.3 assists. Last game against Charleston, he had 0 points, 0 boards, 0 assists in 22 minutes. I don't know how that's possible. He combines with 6'1" senior Devin Peterson to scare nobody. They do have 6'5" senior guard Darius Parks, but he weighs 155 pounds.
Wow.
6'5", 155-pounder, and I'm not making these numbers up. And yes, the Mountaineers have enough to take advantage of the Catamounts' weaknesses. 6'8", 240-pounder senior Griffin Kinney and 6'9", 212-pound sophomore Isaac Johnson will dominate the boards. 6'5" junior guard Ronshad Shabazz, averaging 22 points per game, will be able to score at will. I'm taking Appalachian State to cover.
All right, on the full game, huh?
Yes.
It is best line would be 6, although BetOnline has 5 minus 127, so you could take we could give you 6 minus 106 or 5 minus 127. Which would you
I'll
prefer,
take minus 6, minus 106.
Okay, Jim's going to take Appalachian State minus 6, minus 106. Let's quickly move down to the Sacramento State-St. Mary's game because that's one that I was eyeing. I did bet that one on the under, and it is headed down, so I'll have to take this one now. The Greek has 138.5 minus 122, so I'll either have to take that one or 137, 137.5 at a bunch of places. BetDSI does still have a 139 minus 110, but I think that might be a stale line, so I will take the St. Mary's game under 138.5 minus 122. I bet that one at 138 minus 110. I got it solid there, but I'm going to take that one under 138.5 minus 122. St. Mary's and Sacramento State, and I also would have a lean to Sacramento State. I have to decide if I actually want to give that one. St. Mary's obviously is awesome, but it's a lot of points that they're giving here coming after the Cal game. All right. Let's talk about quickly the UTSA Oklahoma game. If you have anything to say about that one, obviously both teams like to push the pace, and I took a shot with the over on this one. I got 166.5. It's now up to a 168 or a 168.5, and I would like the first half over as well. What's your take on that one, if anything, Jim?
I do. That my lean would be over for sure. For San Antonio, they have 2 freshman guards that are very exciting and can score. Puerto Rican Javon Jackson is averaging 16 points per game, and his mate Keaton Wallace is putting up 15 points per game. But they are tiny. They were just out-rebounded 55-29 by Utah Valley, and it was just an 8-point loss because these 2 freshman guards can score. That's why I really like your over, and I really like it. 6'7" freshman Adrian Rodriguez is the only guy who can board for these guys, and so 6'9" Kadeem Latin and 6'9" Brady Manick will get every board available for Oklahoma. And the way Trae Young is playing, don't expect misses when the ball leaves his hand. They also have 6'10" Matt Freeman and Jamuni McNeese. Probably see more time than usual.
They have Jamuni McNeese?
Jamuni McNeese.
No way!
Yeah, man.
Oh, I know that dude. All right, go on.
And I just think that the issue with taking these guys is that I don't know how much time they're actually going to be on the court.
Right.
So, but I would lean where you're going. I would lean over.
All right. Shout out to Jamuni McNeese. I'm going to take the first half over on this one. 80.5 minus 110. Of course, it's cutting it a little bit close. I could easily see this one landing on like 7, being fast paced and landing on 78 or 79 or something. But I'm going to take the first half over 80.5. I will go with it. It is getting up there, but still low enough that I think there's some value there. What else do you like here, Jim?
Those are my 6 plays. Those are my 6 official plays. I'm not going to take St. Mary's, even though, I mean, they're a very good team. My fear is just how long the starters will
Wait,
play.
I only have 5 plays here. What's the other? Did you take the Oklahoma?
Missouri State, Appalachian State,
right.
Columbia first half.
Right. Penn State and Michigan.
Oh, yes, I have another one.
What's that one? What's that one?
I'm going to take Iowa.
Oh, okay.
I'm going to take Iowa by the spread. Both teams are coming off letdowns. Iowa just lost to Penn State for the first time since 2001. That was a lot of molested children ago. Indiana just lost to Michigan by 14 after giving Duke a very close game just prior. Indiana is a senior-laden team, but Iowa has bigs to hurt them. 6'9", 255-pound sophomore Tyler Cook averages 7.3 rebounds. 6'11" freshman Luka Garza averages 7 rebounds. And 6'8" sophomore Cordell Pemsel averages 5.9. Iowa will win the board battle, and Indiana's guards just are not good enough to be a big advantage. When Iowa lost to Penn State, it was because Karan Stevens took over. The Hoosier guards can't do that.
Yeah, that was actually also my lean, and I was also leaning under on that one. So I'm thinking also about the Indiana team total under. Both Iowa +6 and the under were second tier picks, not my top tier of picks. So I have to decide if I want to just take the Indiana team total under on that one. We can give you Iowa +6 minus 107 is the best line on that one right now.
Sweet.
And yeah, I would have. Let me see where the Indiana team total is right now. Yeah, it's at 79. That's cutting it a little bit close, but I would definitely be leaning Iowa, and I would definitely be leaning the under on that one for sure. All right, let's see what else do we have here. And that's it for you, Jim, huh?
Those are all my picks. I did not put one in on the St. Mary Sacramento State, even though I think Jock Landale is an absolute beast, and he just can't be touched. He'll dominate every minute he's out there. But I don't think he's going to play that much. I think you'll see Evan Fitzner and Jordan Hunter playing a lot more than normal. And Emmett Nar's playing great from point. They're just going to beat up this Sacramento State Hornet squad.
Okay, I'm just not sure that they'll be motivated to. It's a lot of points, but all right. Let me see. What were the other plays that I was leaning on? The Columbia under. There you go. Then a bunch of the very minor games that I definitely looked at. The Western Kentucky. I mean the Appalachian State game. I'm thinking about a shot with the over on that one. I guess I'll think about it a little bit more. Missouri State. I have to say I agree with everyone on. I was also leaning to the over on that one. And then the Northern Illinois Iowa State game. Let's just quickly touch on that one. Again, I had to have a lean to the under on that one at 148.5. What would do you have an opinion on that one, Jim?
Well, Iowa State became a completely different team when they moved Nick Babb to the point. move Donovan Jackson to the wing. Babs now averaging 14 points, 7.5 boards, 6.8 assists, while Jackson's averaging 15.8 points per game. And they completely changed. So they lost the first 2 games of the year, and now they look like the real deal with Bab at the point. 6'9" Frenchman Cameron Lard bangs the boards. Iowa can be in trouble versus bigger teams, but the Huskies are not one of them. 6'9", 235-pounder junior Lacey James will bring home some boards. Eugene German and Levi Bradley can get buckets. They're pretty good. They combine to put up 34.4 points per game, 9.1 rebounds. I just don't think I have an edge. That line looks like it's at a pretty good place.
Right.
And I'm going to leave it alone.
All right. I will take the under. It's 148.5, but the Greek has 149, so I'll take that one. Northern Illinois, Iowa State under 149, minus 110. And I'm also thinking about the Iowa-Indiana game, and you know what? I will throw that one on there. The Greek and Intertops both have 152.5, so I will take that one. I will also throw on Indiana under 152.5 minus 110. So there's another play for me. Definitely thinking about the Appalachian State Western. Let me just check what the first half is on that one. All right, I will take that one. I'll take the first half. Western Carolina, first half over 72 minus 110. First half over 72 minus 110 in Appalachian State and Western Carolina. The Missouri State, North Dakota State. I'm thinking about the Missouri State team total over. I'm thinking about the first half over. I know both of these teams can play very low paced games. You know what? I will take the first half over. I will take it. Bet Online and sportsbetting.ag have 62.5 minus. Oh wow, they just moved to 63 minus 120. All right, so I will take. Oh no, that's Wisconsin Penn State. Sorry, 62.5 minus 105. I will take that one. The North Dakota State game, first half over 62.5 minus 105. So that's another pick for me, Jimmy the Bag.
Love it.
All right, I'm just thinking. And then the Florida State-Florida game, we didn't actually break that one down. Obviously on paper it would look like an over might be a good play here, especially the first half over. What's your take on this one, if any?
Well, I looked very closely at the over-under. I mean, the Gators scored 99.5 points per game. The Seminoles, which leads the nation, the Seminoles are 22nd at 88.8 points per game. But both of these guards combos are 6'6", 6'5" guys who can defend each other. My lean would be that Florida State could come close to covering the 10 points. They're both teams are so perimeter oriented, right? I mean, if you look at the Florida has been outscored by an average of 36-27 in the paint. The opposing team's top scoring big men average 28.7 points and shoot 53.2% from the field against them. But it doesn't matter when you got Kulichev and Hudson, combining for 40 points a game. It's going to be a very exciting game to watch. I'm just concerned at the 10 points, and I'm concerned that they're going to score a little less in this highly pressured game.
Okay. All right. So I will. I'm sorry. I just want to get to some comments here that I just saw. I will review the picks that we have given, and then I will review some comments here, and then we will move on to the other segments. But I want to address some comments here. Jim, what the fuck is this? What the fuck is this? Mo List says, what's up with the dislikes? D Hall says, someone was supposed to be trolling SBR, have multiple accounts. No way this many dislikes. Who's disliking this show?
No, this is fuck. So this happened to me when I was doing betting with the bag. So you can pay for dislikes. So somebody is paid for dislikes.
Now, why would they do that?
Well, I mean, I can't answer that.
Someone who's jealous?
There's a hater. There's a hater out there. Yeah. And so I had this happen 2 days in a row to betting with the bag. And I remember because I wasn't down here yet, and I put out betting with the bag on my own personal page before the other one, and so that page had like a 220 dislikes but only 180 views. So someone is paying for dislikes.
Hey hater, we know you're jealous, and why don't you go fuck yourself? All right, let's go back. You think we give a shit? Yeah, you got to pay for dislikes because actual real people love the show. Jealous? Don't blame you. All right, let's move on. I'm gonna fucking save this shit. I'm gonna save this shit because I'm gonna save all the positive comments of all the people who are saying nice things about us. Then I'll review the comments, and then we'll move on to the next segment of this shit. Here we go. Yeah, haters are jealous. That's how you know when people start to lie about you and people start to buy hates for you. I wonder who could be.
It happens to Big Man too sometimes, and both Big Man and I know who the person is, but it's not worth publicizing the person.
What's his name? Fred? What's his name?
It's just not
Phil?
worth. It's just not worth publicizing the person.
Hey, Fred or Phil or whatever your name is. Why don't you go fuck yourself? All right, let's go back. Let's go back to the show. Let's get back to what we're doing here. All right. Now, I love the haters because it gives me opportunity to get emotional like that. All right, we will review college basketball at the end of this show, but as of right now, Jim has given 6 picks. Michigan money line plus 116, Missouri State -2, Penn State -5, Columbia first half -6, -110, Appalachian State -6, right?
Yep.
And Iowa +6 -107. I will go back to the comments to read an important comment that Big Man actually talked about this one. Here, let me see. He said, where the hell is that? He says, just remember, Western Carolina is much better than last year. They have the 4th toughest schedule in America, and Appalachian State is very poor on defense. Both defenses are poor, though, so that's why I kind of like my over there. But there you go. Appalachian State very poor on defense. Western Carolina much better than last year. So you should be aware of that, Jim. That comes from Big Man himself.
Yes.
No.
What to say? I mean, like my man Max, who I think has a great idea of what's going on in college basketball. He doesn't like my Iowa pick.
Okay.
So I spend the 4 hours in between completely cramming every single angle of these college basketball games. And what I do now is I won't let anybody produce an angle for me. I will only find them myself and have my back completely believing in them. So.
Okay, great. So I'm going to take the under on that one. So Jim has 6 picks there. I have here all my college basketball picks. The Western Carolina game, first half over 72. The North Dakota State game, first half over 62.5 -105. Indiana under 152.5. Columbia under 149.5. The Oklahoma UTSA game, first half over 80.5. The Iowa State game under 149, and the St. Mary's game under 138.5 -122. Let's see. I'm going to save this page again. I love reading all these comments. We're getting a lot of support. Is it possible that all these people giving us all this support have been bought by SBR and they're just, paid robots to give us support?
I don't think so. I think what it feels like here is that I feel like we are all together on the ground floor of something special.
Yes.
And I agree with you guys. This feels special, and we can't do it without you guys helping us cap and by producing winners.
Can you imagine how jealous someone must have to be to buy dislikes? You can't just get it naturally and organically, so you got to go out. God, if I ever find myself in life like buying dislikes or buying thumbs downs on Twitter, just shoot me. That is the most pathetic thing. You're like, here's $8. Can you thumbs down that video 1,000 times? Thank you very much. How pathetic can you get? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, man.
Some bot created in. All right, okay. So let's go on. Let us move on. We will be coming back to college basketball at the end of this show. As of right now, we're going to go on and review the picks and leans that we've given in NHL. Now, I will let's go on to NHL because I will thumbs down this show myself if our NHL losing continues, Jim.
Yeah, I feel you.
People be like, there'll be some thumbs down that pops up. People like, who did that? I'll be like, I did that because me and Jim kept on losing at NHL. All right. So far, what have you given in NHL? This show's going well, though. I love it. Yeah, right? Man. I love it. You've given Washington on the puck line plus 253. I took Washington -1 as well. It's understandable why that line is headed down a little bit, although not really, actually. At Pinnacle, it's now plus 248. So the line has actually moved slightly in our favor. I guess the big question mark is Holtby's out, right?
Holtby's out. Grubauer is in.
And how do we feel about that?
We don't feel great about it, but it's not. It's there. Holtby. He's been playing pretty good at home, but he's not been playing very good overall. And the Sharks are not the kind of offense that you fear. So I mean, obviously, we'd probably rather have Holtby in goal, but throw Grubauer in there. I mean, why not?
Why not? Why not indeed? Okay, your other pick was, what else did you say? You took Calgary, right? Let's see. Calgary on the puck line, plus 210. And Jim and I both had the over 5.5 at minus 112. That puck line has not moved at all. And the total, which we guessed would go up a little bit, has actually, yes, gone up a teeny bit. It's now up to 5.5, minus 113 at Pinnacle and 114 at BetOnlineSportsBetting.ag. So we beat that line move by 1 cent, Jim. I'll take it. I'll take it. All right. We're liking the over. Tell folks again why you like the over here, Jim.
Well, first off, I think that Brian Elliott is not that good of a goalie. And I had somebody say right at the very end of the show that I think you're making a mistake. Brian Elliott used to play for the Flames. He played there for 1 year. I don't think that is a big issue. The Flyers have lost 10 straight with 5 of those coming overtime or shootouts, and then they just got shut out. And they are not that bad of an offensive team. I mean, they're clearly top heavy, but they're not that bad. And after after being shut out, I think it's a good time to think that the Flyers will put a couple goals up on the board. Simmons thinks heading out on the road is the best thing for a team, and we've watched that happen before. I do think the Flames are angry after their 7-5 loss to the Oilers. Mike Smith is back in goal after being pulled. I just think this is a chance for I thought that the line could even inch up to 6. I think there will be goals, and I'm happy we got it at 5.5.
All right, and just before we move on, I did take the first period under in Boston-Nashville, which has moved in my favor. And I was also thinking about the full game under. In the morning, it was 5.5, minus 105 at Pinnacle. And now it's minus 117 at Pinnacle, so it's still playable on the under. I'm leaning under on that one. I took the first period under as an official pick already. I don't want to take the San Jose Washington under, but I would be thinking about the first period under on that one as well. What's your take on a first period underplay San Jose Washington and an underplay in general on Boston Nashville?
My lean is definitely the underplay here with Ryan Johansson out and the father-son trip going on. The Bruins are playing their best hockey of the season right now, and that's why I'm stayed away from making it official. And Khudobin is trying to get that starting job. Yeah. And that is another reason why I kind of, now we've seen how good Nashville's power play is at home and how deadly they are. Remember, that is with Ryan Johansson at center. Yeah. And he's not going to be there tonight. So
we have seen games go like, 0-0 in the first period and then explode in the second period, which is why I jumped on the first period as an official pick, and I'm thinking about the full game. What do you think, Jim? What should I? It seems okay, right? What do you think?
Well, we know that with the father-son trip, there's going to be less room. There's going to be more intensity. Not necessarily more goals, but less room on the ice. We know that Ryan Johansson will not be there. He of the guy who is the reason why they have a 39, not the reason, but one of the main reasons they have a 39.6% power play at home. So if you kind of combine those things with Khudobin playing so well in goal, you have to think all signs point to under. Yeah. All right. I'll just
stick with the first period because I don't quite want to double up on it. And if it's like 3-2, heading into the last part of the third period, and then you get an over with an empty net goal, I'll be frustrated that I took the under. But it's definitely a lean. I'll just stick with the first period. And then I'm thinking about San Jose on the first period under as well. What do you think about that one, Jimmy the Bag? I mean, I guess it's probably either the Washington goalie's going to give up 4 goals in the first 10 minutes or give up 1 goal the entire game, right?
No, I don't know. Under no circumstances can the Sharks put up 4 goals in the first 10 minutes. They just don't play that kind of hockey there. They're an older group.
Can Washington put up 2 goals in the first period?
Washington can, and I say that because of Martin Jones returning from injury. Yeah. Which almost, and I said earlier, was almost out of fear because that 29-year-old backup was running with the opportunity. And I'm not saying that was the reason why he came back, but, a couple games off. Now he's back in. He's had such a great season.
All right, I'll hold off on all of those. I'll just stick with my 3 picks. Washington puck line -1, Philly Calgary over 5.5, and then the Boston Nashville first period under 1.5, which I got at -105. Let's just quickly scan the comments, see if there's anything about hockey that people are talking about, and then we will move on to NBA. Let's see. Mohamed Joma says, "Don't trust Nashville or Washington to do anything." Jimmy, yeah, I'm leaning under on those. Let's see.
Well, Rem Most was the guy I was talking to at the very end of the show, and Rem Most, I totally respect your capping and your idea here because he says, but he got booted out of Calgary after a year. Wound's still fresh, and Philly's going to be motivated tonight. I see those things. I just think 1 year there, he got booted out. I mean, it's been a goalie carousel in Calgary for years at this point. So I'm not too concerned. Al Mack says, I really like Florida tonight. Luongo is hot. Panthers average 3.5 more shots than the Islanders, and Luongo has a 2% better save percentage than Halak. Great stats. Even with the weird Islanders home ice advantage, meaning with the shots and the goals or whatever, I love Florida, he says.
Okay, a lot of super great comments. I'm just going to take 90 seconds here to read them all. Kevin Conrad says, I don't know shit about hockey. I bet him when bored and trust the bag at Loshak, a.k.a. Totals. The guy knows my nickname already. It used to be just people on the street who knew that I was named Totals. Now people on the internet know about it. I used to walk down the street. They'd be like, hey, Totals! Totals! And I'd turn around and be like, hey, how you doing? How you doing? And all right, let's see. Also, here we go. Andrew Cisneros. Hey, guys, keep doing what you're doing. You guys are great. Thank you so much, Andrew Cisneros. And here we go. Let's see. What's the other one? Where's the other comment? Bookie Lover Q says, this show is going better than well, Pete. It's so fulfilling. You guys work hard, and it's showing. Folks are getting paid. Thank you so much, Bookie Lover Q. That's a comment of the day award right there for that one, Bookie Lover Q. Thank you so much. All right, now let's just quickly let's see. Capitals Sharks over for me, says Osmanoman. Let's see. All right. Okay. Now let's move on to NBA because we got a huge NBA card coming up, and we got a bunch of picks that we did make. Let's see. What were the picks that you made, Jim? All right. You did like the Spurs, right?
I did.
You like the Spurs. You got them at I think 3.5, and now let's check it out. Oh, nice. Well, the Greek still has 3.5, but everyone else has 4. Nice job there. What else did you
I also have the Spurs at the first half at
That's right.
-1.
I'm sure there's no ones available there anymore. Let's just quickly scan it. Where is it? San Antonio? Yes, it's only 1.5 or 2s on the first half. Nice line move beat there, Jim. I took Brooklyn on the first half and the first quarter. Those lines have not moved much, which is understandable. Wound up taking the Pinnacle opener on that one, +0.5, -117. So it's just predicated on Brooklyn coming out here looking for a little bit of revenge and being able to do so against Atlanta. Let's see. I did also take the under in New Orleans Golden State, 228.5. That's right where it is. That line has not moved much, which I guess is a good sign. I mean, if this game was one of these games that was going to be headed over, I would expect a late line move in that favor, which might still come because we got, an hour and a half before first tip. So, if that's like 2:30.5, 2 minutes before tip off, I'm going to say I'm on the wrong side. I might even take it back because that's probably a strong sign that it's going to go over, right?
Yeah.
All right. The Detroit-San Antonio game, I was thinking about the under 198 and that when I held off on it, it's now up to 200, 200.5, or 201 at Pinnacle. So a big move to the over in Detroit-San Antonio. And the Utah-Washington game, I'm assuming Gobert is definitely back, right? Or
Gobert is definitely back. He's going to be limited minutes,
and that would sort of explain why the total on that one has gone down so much. It was 200.5. Of course, Utah has been an over machine since Gobert went out, and they changed the offense a little bit. Also, a covering machine, covered 5 in a row. That's down from 200.5 now down to 197 at Heritage, 198 at Pinnacle. So that total has been crashing. I took the under in Dallas, Denver, which hasn't moved much. I took it at 209, I think, or 209.5. Let's see, another highly debated. Oh, there you go. The Cleveland-Chicago game. I said I like the under at 211, and now that is not available. The Greek has 210. Everyone else has, bookmaker has 210. So that total is headed down. And I also took the over in Milwaukee-Boston at 202, and that one has headed up. That's now 203 or 203.5. So those are some interesting line moves, approximately what I would have expected. Jim, what struck your eye? What's caught your eye as far as notable line moves since the morning show?
Well, I took the Jazz -3.5.
That's
on
right,
the
still
morning
there.
show,
Yes.
So Gobert did not touch that at all.
Oh, actually, no. You got it at 3.5 -101, right?
Yeah.
Now it's up to 3.5 juiced or 4. So you beat that line move nicely by about a half point. Nice job.
I'll take that. I got the Mavericks at -2.5.
The Mavericks, yeah, that line has gone the other way, and I was actually thinking that Denver might be a good player. That's now a 2, or Heritage has 1.5. That's not a good sign, Jim. And I was actually thinking about throwing on Denver on the first half or the first quarter on that one. That's not a great sign for you.
Not a great sign.
Especially with Jokic out, right? Now the line's moving the other way.
Yeah, it's concerning without question. It's concerning, but I'm going to take Carlisle at home. Then I have 2 first halves, right? I have the Bucks at +2.5.
Yeah.
And the Sixers at -6.5.
Let's see. The Sixers -6.5. That is still right there. No movement on that one. And the Bucks -2.5. That is still right there. No movement on that one either, Jim.
Sweet. And then That's it for me.
That's it for you. Okay, so we do have to get to let's see where we are in the show. We still have to get to the NFL game, which is an interesting one. We should spend a little bit of time talking about that, and then we will get to the college basketball review and maybe add some other picks or takeaway. Let me just quickly look at my my NBA leans. Definitely Denver on the first quarter. +1 was a lean. You don't like to hear that, Jim, do you?
No, it's concerning.
Yeah. Also, everyone's talking about Minnesota. That you don't. It's not a good idea to bet against a desperate home team like Memphis, and that line has gotten bet down a little bit. It's now down to 3 or 2.5. Still got to think that maybe Minnesota on the first quarter at like Pick'em or something might be a good play. What do you think?
Yeah. Well, let's go over all my notes for that game.
No, you don't have to. You don't have to. It's all right. I took the Dallas game under 2 ways. I would also be leaning Dallas team total under at 105.5. But I guess since I took the under 2 ways on that one, I'll hold off on that one. And I want to give maybe the Cleveland Chicago under, and I want to give maybe the Detroit San Antonio under. Now that why is that line headed up, Jim? Why do you think?
Detroit, San Antonio, I mean,
both teams can go. We've seen San Antonio can easily go high scoring, no problem, right?
They can. I think the Kyle Anderson injury hurts. There was talk that maybe Pau Gasol would be rested. There's been no sign of that at all. And with the Timberwolves Grizzlies, I need to see Tyreek Evans running the point and see how much he's changing it, because he's so good offensively and so weak defensively.
All right, you know what I will do? I will put the Cavs-Bulls game under as an official pick. I could have gotten 211 earlier in the morning show. Now I'm going to have to take 210 at Bookmaker and the Greek. The Bookmaker and the Greek both have 210 minus 110. Pinnacle has 209.5, so that's not great, but I will take it. The Cavs, Chicago under 210, and it's very tempting to take the Bulls. Everyone's talking in the morning show about how Cleveland tends to win by double digits when they're not favored by double digits, and how LeBron does not get up for these kinds of teams. 9 is still available. Are the Bulls +9 maybe a play? Tempting.
It's very tempting. The Bulls +9, and here, Johannes Patterson loves the Cavs to go over here. Says Cavs
go over.
Cavs have no D. But King Rail says, I just got Cavs at -9. So the people closest to us. But here, he's just talking about it. Here, JJ Guerrero has Chicago to cover the full game.
Yeah. I mean, it's understandable why. It's exactly these kinds of games when Cleveland just looks like they outmatch a team on paper that they wind up, not really, covering the spread.
Osman Oman says, yeah, Bulls have a reason to play, whereas they don't. The Cavs really don't.
All right, I will step out on a ledge here. I'll step out on a limb here, and I will take the Bulls +9. Best line is -110 at a bunch of places. You wager the Greek. I will take it. Bulls +9 -110. I'm sure a lot of people think that's a terrible play, right?
No, I mean, like JD Williams right here says LeBron will half-ass this one. I'm taking his prop scoring under. Also, JD on Sunday hit a $50 parlay, paid just under $1,100.
Wow, very nice.
He's running hot 4 weeks straight, running hot. Nice work, JD.
Very nice. Very nice work, JD. All right, I have thrown on the Bulls under 210 -110 and Chicago +9 -110. Those could easily both lose, but I like them enough that I'm willing to go official with them. And let me just quickly check the Denver first quarter line. Here we go. Where is that? There you go. Denver first quarter. You know what? I think I'm going to throw that one on there. I'm going to put Denver. Going against you, Jim, a little bit. We could easily both cash, but I'm going against you, Jim. First quarter +1, -109. That's the current line at Pinnacle. So those are 3 NBA leans that I've converted into actual picks here.
Yeah, and here's a great stat for your Bulls idea. JJ Guerrero says Bulls 7-2 against the spread versus Cavs in the last 10.
Wow. Very nice. Thank you so much. That's a great, that encouraged me. Just we know how LeBron likes to play. You got to figure Chicago's going to leave it all on the court here. Maybe play a little bit of defense, and so I'm on the under on that one, and I'm definitely on the Bulls +9 and Denver +1 on the first quarter -109, and the other. I guess a lot of people were saying that Orlando getting all those points might be getting a little bit disrespected, and I would agree with that. So Orlando at +8 would also be a lean for me as well. Jim, what do you think?
I can understand. I can clearly understand the Orlando lean. I can feel like all of your leans I get.
Yeah. And then my other lean was just the Phoenix and Philly under. Everyone obviously talking about how both these teams do tend to, they don't play any defense. Either one of them. Or Philly they play defense, but they can be drawn into a track meet for sure. Phoenix doesn't play any defense. We know that. So I was thinking about a shot with the under, but I guess I'll just leave that one as a lean, Jim.
You get all these biases when you watch these games, and I've got a ton of them, and I try to shake them off. But for whatever reason, that Magic Sixers game stuck in my head. When the Sixers were playing against a team that didn't defend at all, they stopped defending too and just were like, watch me outscore you. Now, also, Simmons has the flu. He's playing, but Ben Simmons is sick and playing. So will he also kind of let go defensively a little bit? I bet you Simmons is playing because McConnell is out. I bet you if McConnell was healthy, Simmons would be taking the night off. That concerns me a little bit.
Yes, it certainly does. All right, I'll hold off on that one, but definitely the under is a lean there. All right, let's move on, Jim. How about that?
Let's do it.
All right, let's move on to NFL. Of course, a huge game, Pittsburgh and Cincinnati. We know that Cincinnati, repeatedly fails in prime time, right? Pittsburgh has pretty much owned this team, for quite a while now. I would be leaning, and we also know these games have tended to go under a little bit, and Brown is out, right, for Pittsburgh. Is that official? Is that for sure?
I don't know if it's 100% official, but it's expected.
Right. Okay, so do you know what I did? I knew in my head that Pittsburgh pretty much owned the Bengals, but did you know that the Steelers are 7-1-1 ATS over the last 9 games against Cincinnati? I didn't realize it was that. I didn't realize it was quite that bad. And also and I knew that Pittsburgh tended to be as a road favorite an under trender, but they're 15-2 to the under as a road favorite in their last 17. That's there's probably some variance and flukiness to that, but it can't be all variance. It could be all variance, but it's not likely to be all variance and flukiness. And so I'm thinking that the under might be a good play here. We know that Cincinnati, with probably a smart decision, has played more of has shifted to more of a conservative offensive game plan with Dalton to limit his mistakes and to have a lot more running. And I'm thinking that especially with Brown out, I'm thinking the under here might be a pretty solid play here, Jim. What do you think?
I think so too. I'm leaning in that direction as well. And there's a lot of talk here on the forum. Native Queen, Cincinnati's no good in primetime. Chris IG, daytime Dalton is better than primetime Dalton.
Yes.
It's a we love this rivalry. I mean, we all any football fan loves watching these two teams that hate each other. But and the line's been moving. And do you think the line's moving in the direction of the Bengals just solely on the Antonio Brown injury?
No, I don't think so. I mean, maybe I don't think so. I mean, I'd have to check the actual history to see when the movement actually came. Let me just see. Yeah, it opened at 6, and the next day it was down about on the 30th is when it was down at 4.5. So
Adrich just is watching right now. It says Antonio Brown takes the field for early pregame warm-ups in full uniform except for shoulder pads.
Yeah, I mean, again, my assumption is always that a player who plays 100%, but we know that in reality that's not actually the case. So it's 4. DSI is 4.5. The total is 43. DSI is 43.5. The problem is I could easily see this one being pretty conservative, but somehow one way or another winding up 24-20 or something like that.
Big man is on the under 43 as well.
Yeah, listen, I mean, it's definitely my lean. My lean would be on the under, and as far as a bet is concerned on the side, I mean, I'd have to be leaning Cincinnati, except their record against Pittsburgh is just so bad. It just feels like this team just finds, even if Marvin Lewis's job is on the line, it feels like one way or another they find a way to fuck it up, right?
Absolutely.
And it feels like you might cash, but even if you do cash, you're probably on a 35% percentage play, and you just got lucky. You know what I mean? It feels like that kind of game, right?
Robbie Tagaloa says these divisional rivalry games are always low scoring.
Yes. Okay, I'll make that one an official pick. I will make it Pittsburgh, Cincinnati, under 43. If this one winds up 24-20, I'll be very annoyed. What can I say? But BetDSI does have 43.5, so we will take that one. I will take that one as the official line. Under 43.5, minus 110, Pittsburgh, Cincinnati. Yeah, I hope this one isn't 26-20, 24-21, something like that. Could easily, you know what I mean? You could easily see that with the flu, because there's so much bad blood here that it will be low scoring, but it will also be intense. And there's not going to be a lot of periods where people are just sort of like mailing it in, you know?
Oh, there will be no periods of mailing it in.
Right.
Yes.
I'll take it, though. I have a little bit. I have like 1 or 2 units that I can burn and still be proud of my NFL record. So I'll take the under 43.5 minus 110 current line at BetDSI. And I would have to be leaning Cincinnati plus the points, even though I am fully aware of all the reasons why that might wind up, in retrospect, being a colossally stupid lean. And I definitely didn't bet that one. So you want to make a pick here, Jim?
No, I'm going to leave this game alone.
All right. Here we go. Greg Matson says 27-20. Hako Schofield says over. Brad Dale says Ben is bad on the road. Yeah, all right. So, wow. Flex Clips says Steelers 35, Cincy 21. So he's expecting a super high scoring game there. Wow. Okay. Jesus Christ. JD Williams says 27-20. Steelers is my hope. Okay. So, whoa. Flex Clips. Everyone's liking the over here.
Well, not Nate Pereira says Cincy may only score field goals in this game.
Yeah. I mean, we will see. We will see. JK says, do you trust the Steelers without their best wide receiver, though? Not totally, right? I mean, do you? I don't know. Maybe you do. Big question. Right. Okay.
Al Mack loves the under 43.
Yeah.
Brad Dale said Bengals have the number 3 defense. They do have a good defense.
Yeah. All right. They have a bad offensive line, but they're playing, a style of football that tries to minimize that. So, all right. So, let's see, guys. Dislikes are heavier than likes at the moment. Wow.
We all know what's happening. They paid for them.
Yeah.
We don't need to talk about it too much, man.
I guess what we know is that bots on the internet do not like our show. Actual human beings do like our show. You know, who's the target audience here? Is it ones and zeros on a server somewhere, or is it actual people sitting there staring at our screen, typing back and forth with us? I think our target audience should be actual people. What do you think, Jim?
It's actual people, and the more we talk about it, the more this makes the guy feel good about it. Who gives? Let's just keep capping, man. We know we all together are on the ground floor of something special, and one hater buying dislikes shouldn't change anything.
You know what the problem is? It's those dislikes are so friggin' cheap. You can buy like 2,000 dislikes for like $8. You know what I mean?
They're cheaper than views.
Oh man, you got to. It's like when Chris Rock made that joke about how bullets should be expensive, and then there'd be no need for gun control. All right. So I'm going to take the under 43.5 minus 110, and I will just pretty significant line move in favor of Pittsburgh now. It's up to 4.5 at Pinnacle. All right, so maybe we'll look at the very, very late line moves by the time we wrap this show up. But right now, let's go to the next segment, which is segment 2 of the college basketball card. Let's see what line moves have occurred here, if any at all. The Michigan-Ohio State game, of course, has already started. Nothing really, no notable line moves. Let's see. Except for Missouri State. The 2 that you got, Jim, is now not available. It's now up to 3 at BetDSI, and Pinnacle has 2.5 juiced towards 3. So clear line move favoring Missouri State in that one, and a pretty solid line move favoring Penn State as well. It's now only 5.5s available. Let's check these totals that I gave plays on. The Appalachian State-Western Carolina game has taken a strong move to the over, so that's nice to see. What were the other plays that I gave? Oh, there you go. And the Missouri State-North Dakota State game has also taken a move to the over. I told you. You know, these teams have been playing very low scoring at times this year, but I'm thinking that the over might be the way to go in that one. And other than that, not much as far as line moves are concerned. So anything else you want to add on, Jim, or shall we move to the wrap-up part?
Yeah, I'm very happy. I think the Missouri State is a very good play. I'm very confident in Missouri and in the Penn State spot, and I just need money badly. Let's get it tonight.
All right, so again, my leans that I haven't given in college basketball are the Missouri State over at which is still 134.5 at Heritage. Maybe I will throw that one on there at 134.5. And definitely thinking about an over in the Florida State, Florida, but I will pass on that one. All right, I'll just stick with my 2 plays. I did give the first half over in the Missouri State North Dakota State game. You know what? I like it. I'll give that one. I'll give the full game over on that one as well. Doubling up on that one, I'll take the 134.5. Which is the current line at Heritage. So now I'm on the first half on that one, 62.5 minus 105 and 134.5 minus 110. That's the current line at Heritage. I do like the over on that one. And I'll leave the full game on the Appalachian State game alone. And I'll leave the full game on the Oklahoma game alone. And that is it. All right, so let's move on, shall we, Jim?
Let's move on.
All right, let's move on. Let's just wrap shit up. Wrap shit up, the full game. Full show wrap up here. Jim, all of his picks only has given college basketball picks. Appalachian State -6, Iowa +6, which some people did not necessarily agree with. Others did. Michigan moneyline +116. That game's already started. Missouri State -2. Beat the line, move on that one. Penn State -5. Beat the 6 o'clock to 7 o'clock line, move on that one. And Columbia first half -6. And I've given a whole bunch of picks. Of course, in the NFL game, I did go official with the Cincinnati game under 43.5 -110. In NBA, I added the Bulls game under 210, the Bulls +9 -110, and the Denver first quarter +1. And then in college basketball, a whole bunch of picks. Western Carolina first half over 72, Indiana game under 152.5, Columbia game under 149.5, St. Mary's game under 138.5 -122, Iowa State game under 149, the Oklahoma game first half over 80.5, the North Dakota State game first half over 62.5, and 134.5 on the full game.
Michigan is up 22-13.
Wow, very nice.
Let's get that money.
Okay, and once again, we will be back tomorrow morning for the Tuesday 12 o'clock version of this show. Thanks so much to all the support from the actual people who support this show. You know, probably out of all the dislikes we've gotten on this show, only 1 or 2 of them were from actual people, although even those 1 or 2 likes kind of confound me and upset me. But we'll take them, we'll eat them. And of course, coming up right now is Marketology with Drew Martin and Matt Holt from CG Technologies. They will discuss, I think they'll discuss the previous weekend's betting action in NFL. But whatever it is that they're discussing, it's going to be interesting. A very nice 8-minute segment. Stay tuned for that. That's coming up right now here at SportsBookReview.com.
Welcome in, where we're going to get a view from the other side of the counter with Matt Holt, Vice President at CG Technology. Give him a follow on Twitter at Matthew Holt VP. Matt, welcome in. How was the weekend?
Drew, pretty good. I'll tell you what, the Seattle Seahawks probably saved the books last night. It was another one of those weekends early with the favorites getting home, some really popular favorites getting home. Tennessee Titans getting there. That was a popular favorite. Minnesota Vikings, a popular underdog getting home. The New Orleans Saints, a popular favorite. The New England Patriots got home. So it looked like it was going to be one of those days again for the betting public here. Another tough NFL Sunday after a tough November for NFL Sundays. And then the Seattle Seahawks came in and saved the game. And I know a lot of people said to me, Matt, how can a game that opened +6 that went down to +3 be so meaningful for the games and not actually a loser? And the game went from +6 to +3.5 because of who was betting the game. But there are so many parlays and teasers tied into Sunday night favorites throughout the week that Seattle ended up being a real life raft for us last night.
All right, Matt. So the Seahawks winning outright as underdogs really helping you out. What about tonight's money flow on the Monday Night Football game? How's that affecting you?
It's not as one-sided as you'd think here. When we look over the counter, obviously it's really heavy Steelers. We'd expect the public to be on the Steelers. 2.5 more times dollars wagered on Pittsburgh over the counter than Cincinnati. But when we look at the account wagers, tend to be the sharper wagers here. It's about dead even, actually. It's about 80,000 to about 80,000 right now. So still plenty of time to go. Still over 4 until kickoff tonight. But actually we're right where you want to be. The sharp guys on both sides of the game, public on the road favorite. Not looking too bad right now.
Yeah, and Matt, we got NFL coming down the back stretch. We got college football bowl season, but on the hardwood, we got college basketball coming into full force. We got one in the Big Ten tonight. Whiskey versus Penn State. Looks like the Nittany Lions are taking some money. Is that how you guys are seeing it?
Yeah, Nittany Lions sure are. And this is a team, look, they bring back all 5 starters from last year. The Big Ten lost a lot of really good teams and a lot of really strong players from last year. And there's still some strong teams at the top. Michigan State's really strong. Purdue, Northwestern's a little bit better. But there's a significant drop-off there in the Big Ten. And there's a gap this year where last year maybe it went 7, 8, even 9 deep of really quality teams in the Big Ten. It just doesn't go that deep this year. The teams at the top are still really good. But there certainly is a gap, and I think there's some room for a team to move up. And this veteran Penn State team seems to be absolutely struggling terribly thus far to put the ball in the basket. Haven't been able to score any points all year. A lot of love for the Nittany Lions at home in a fairly short spread under 6 tonight.
And Matt, in the association, we got game number 507, 508, Milwaukee, Boston. Looks like the Bucks are actually taking some money, also some under money. I'm thinking in the NBA this time of year, a lot of that is sharp money, is it not?
Yeah, and this is kind of a pros versus Joes scenario for us here, is the public almost 4 times, 3.5 times more dollars wagered on the Boston Celtics. No surprise, best record in the East, playing unbelievable basketball. But on the account where it tends to be sharper, 96% of dollars wagered right now on the Milwaukee Bucks. So we have a little bit of a pros versus Joes scenario here where the public and the sharps not necessarily liking the same side of this one. 2 of the most popular betting teams on the NBA board, certainly especially in the Eastern Conference right now, Celtics and Bucks. This one figures to be a good game. This is a fairly low spread when you consider that Boston's at home with the best record in the East, laying less than 5. It shows you the respect that the Greek Freak and the Bucks are getting from bettors right now.
And Matt, just last question here. I'd be remiss not to ask you about the college football playoff lines. Looks like Nick Saban, with extra time to prepare, the Alabama's taking some money. Is that how you guys are seeing it? And where do you see these 2 games going line-wise as far as both side and total? Which way do you think these lines are going to move?
So I could tell you that we opened first, or right around first. I mean, several people came out right when the teams were announced yesterday. We did as well. I mean, literally less than a minute after the 4 teams were announced, we had these numbers up. We opened this game Alabama 2 and had to go to Alabama 1, and that was from sharp action on account. Literally 4 times as much sharp action on account on Clemson yesterday, actually, than Alabama. So while the public's on Alabama here, the sharp bettors were all over Clemson +2. Same thing on the other side. We opened up Oklahoma -2.5 over Georgia. I even saw a couple other books open -3 or -3 even. And right away, we just absolutely got pounded with sharp Georgia money, bringing that one almost down to a pick. So they liked both underdogs here, Clemson and Georgia, pretty heavy. And I think both games are probably going to close pretty close to a pick.
Interesting. Glad I asked you that. So I was totally wrong on the Alabama with extra time to prepare money coming in on them. But what about any totals opinion? Do you think the public and the sharps are both going to go after either overs or unders in these games?
Yeah, I'm not sure. Look, to your point, I get it. I like Alabama myself. I think they're going to get healthier. I think they're the better football team. And I think once a few of those linebackers are able to come back, that they're going to be the better football team with revenge on their side and a little bit of a chip on their shoulder. But, interestingly enough, and sometimes bettors tend to bet early what they saw last. What they saw last was Clemson absolutely manhandling Miami in the ACC championship game while Alabama was home, basically at the barbecue, since they didn't go to the SEC championship game. And same thing with Georgia. Not surprising to me that we took all that Georgia money, considering how much they dominated Auburn, a team that just handled Alabama the week before.
He's Matthew Holt, Vice President at CG Technology. Follow him on Twitter at Matthew Holt VP. Thanks, Matt, for the time.